Imagine yourself as Theo, sitting alone at a dimly lit bar, nursing a bourbon, your mind absorbed by your latest novel. Suddenly, your thoughts are interrupted by a voice. You look up to find the famed author, Dan Murdoch, standing before you. The man whose literary fame has always intrigued you, his world a realm of glamour and mystery. Little did you know, your quiet evening was about to be shattered, but Theo's life was about to take a twisted turn. One day, Dan Murdoch was found dead, and all fingers pointed at Theo. She was suddenly thrust into a whirlwind of suspicion and scrutiny, her world turned upside down in the blink of an eye. As she grappled with the crushing reality of her friend's untimely demise, a new mystery began to unravel. Theo discovered the Shield, a clandestine platform, a secret society of sorts where authors shared more than just their creative works. It was a web of intrigue, a labyrinth of secrets where truth and fiction blurred. As she delved deeper, she found herself in a world far removed from her own, a world that Dan was a part of. The more she uncovered, the more the pieces of the puzzle began to fit. The lines in Dan's novels, the cryptic conversations, the secret meetings, they all pointed to one chilling conclusion. The more Theo dug, the more it became apparent that Dan's death wasn't accidental, but a meticulously scripted homicide. As danger lurked closer, the race began. Theo needed to expose the antagonist before she succumbed to the same fate as Dan. The clock was ticking, and with each passing moment, the stakes grew higher. Theo plunged into the depths of the literary world, a world that was now tainted with jealousy and deception. It was a labyrinth of secrets, each one more chilling than the last. She found herself navigating through a maze of whispers and shadows, where each corner held a new clue, a new suspicion. She was no stranger to plot twists, but the one she was about to uncover was beyond anything she had ever written. It was a betrayal that cut deeper than any pen could, a betrayal that was woven into the very fabric of her life. The truth was a bitter pill to swallow, but swallow it she did. She embraced the cold reality, letting it fuel her determination. The chilling revelations only made her resolve stronger. She was not just fighting for her life now, she was fighting for justice, for truth. Theo's final test was a bloody climax where she unveiled the puppet master behind Dan's death and their perverse motives. Every word, every revelation, was a blow to the puppet master's facade. It was a battle of wits, and Theo was determined to win. In this race against time, Theo was the writer, the protagonist, and the detective. And she was ready to pen down the final chapter of this real-life thriller. In the end, Theo stood victorious, the mystery writer who had contrived her own denouement. As the final act unfolded, Theo found herself face-to-face with the puppet master of this macabre plot. In a confrontation as tense as the climax of a thriller novel, the antagonist was finally unmasked, their malevolent motives laid bare for all to see. It was a revelation that sent shivers down the spine, a betrayal that cut deeper than any novel's plot twist, a secret that had been hidden in plain sight. The antagonist hadn't expected Theo to connect the dots, to peel back the layers of deception and expose the truth. But they had underestimated the resilience of our heroine, her determination to seek justice for Dan and for herself. In a world where the pen is mightier than the sword, Theo had used her intellect as her weapon, her words as her shield. The climax was as dramatic as it was cathartic. The police sirens wailed in the distance, the flashing lights painting the scene in stark contrast of red and blue. The antagonist's reign of terror was over. Theo had won. But this victory was not without its cost. The innocence of the literary world she had once admired was forever tainted, replaced with a harsh reality of jealousy and deception. And yet, amidst the chaos and the turmoil, Theo emerged stronger, wiser. She had been thrust into a sinister plot, a real-life mystery she had to unravel to save herself. But she had persevered. She had survived. She was no longer just a mystery writer. She had become the protagonist of her own tale, a tale of courage and survival. This was Theo's story, a sinister plot she had to unravel to save herself, a story that forever transformed her. Now, here's a question for you, the viewer. If you were Theo, would you have unraveled the mystery surrounding Dan's death? Comment your thoughts below.